Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of Between Appointments. Today, we're going to be talking about,
Unsolicited parenting advice.
how that can be a controversial topic.
Yes. Well, let's just dive right into it.
Sounds good. So, have you ever received advice that you felt was more judgmental than sincere?
I have, so it really depends on the person and how they normally come about it. I feel like for the most part it can be genuine, but it really depends on what they're talking about. When they see how you are with your kids, I feel like sometimes it can be positive, sometimes it can be negative. Sometimes it's like, what are you trying to say?
And I feel like sometimes most of the judgmental parenting advice comes from social media side of it versus like your family side.
Yeah.
Or would you agree?
And sometimes it's a generational thing of you think you know more, so you should be able to say something.
Okay.
It's more
You're
of
like,
like,
I've been there, done that.
I've
Listen
been
to
there,
me.
done that. I'm older. I can talk if I want to. Nobody can shut me up because I'm the elder and I know more, or I think I know more,
I'm
kind of thing.
wiser because I've had more
Right.
years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you ever seen any parenting situation online and you thought to yourself, "Oh heck no, I would never do that."
I have multiple times. It's very uncomfortable because when it's online, you get a sense of you're a parent too, and you know when certain things are right and wrong, and some things are unsafe. Especially from experience, things are unsafe. And when you see someone showing their ideas about safeness, or, oh, this is an easier way to go about things, or sharing their knowledge with you, sometimes they don't always think about the fact that there are going to be parents out there that don't know the right and the wrong because it's their first time around, and they don't really know anything. And that's okay. You don't have to know everything when you're first
There's
starting.
no parenting book that's like, "This is how
Well,
you
there
do
are
everything
parents
101."
well, there are parenting books, but most people just kinda go with the flow.
Yeah.
Some people are stricter than others, and you have to be careful when you're watching and when you're showing things to other people, to another audience, because people will take things in that they don't know that that is a wrong way to go about it.
Especially children. Children are like sponges. What is it? The first 5 years are the most monumental years for their education, them
Yeah.
learning a new language, things like that, because they are a sponge, and it kinda, like, reminds me of when we were at the park and one of the older kids were climbing up the slide and not going down the slide,
Right.
and you were like, "Hey, let's go down and not up because what you do,
Yeah.
your younger child's
Someone that
going to
doesn't
do."
know as much is gonna be like, "Oh, that seems okay. Maybe that's safe. Another person's doing it, an older child is doing it. Maybe it's safe," which in reality, it may not be. And that's what parents have to remember when they're broadcasting to a bigger audience. What they're doing is people are going to see that and be naive and be like, "Oh, I can do that.
But
It's not safe."
also at the same time, I was overhearing the other family there, and she was kinda laughing that she was climbing up the slide and not going down it, and it's there where, like, you can have your own beliefs as a parent and as,
Hmm.
however you raise your child, but I'm gonna have my own, and it's okay to have separate ones. It just becomes difficult when maybe somebody tries to overstep and is like, "Oh, why is it such a big deal that you don't want them
That
climbing up
that's
versus
when
going
you
down?"
that's when you as a parent have to be like, well, first, not say anything. You have to talk to your specific child about those things.
Yeah.
Be like, "Well, I do it all the time with my
Like,
kids,
they might let her do
but
that.
we're your mom and dad, and this
Yeah.
is what we do.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they wanna do in their own home, but this is what we are gonna do?"
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Do you think people without kids can give valuable advice to parents with kids?
It comes along with just taking things as a grain of salt. You just take a little bit here and there. Some things are valuable. Be like, "Oh, that's an idea. Okay, I'll think about that. Oh, that did actually work. Thanks for giving me that advice. Oh,
Yeah.
okay." Sometimes they can. Sometimes it's like, "Oh, well, whatever. You don't really have a kid, so it's fine if it doesn't really make any sense." We just kinda like, "Whatever."
Uh,
But sometimes it helps.
do you think that you've ever given advice to another parent based off of an initial judgment from how you've seen their child act?
I have given a lot of times you have to bite your tongue
Yeah. Yeah, you
because
really
you're
do.
like, "Are you really gonna let them do that?"
Your
And
eye starts
I'm
to
not
twitch a little
it's
bit.
not about being a hover parent, just some people make decisions and they're not always the best decisions, and I'm like, "Come on, dude, you know that's not a good idea. You're just doing" like,
Do you internalize that thought, or will you tell the parent your thoughts?
I will depends how bad it is. If it's putting your kid in the car and driving without a car seat or not the
That's a
correct
problem.
size,
Yeah.
I'll be like, "Hey, they're not old enough, they're not big enough. That's really not a good idea." But that's where I, like, say it, put it out there. Most of
One
the
and
t
done. You're
most
like,
of
"I
the
say it."
times, they already know and they're just doing it,
Yeah.
though, you know?
That's interesting. I wouldn't think that, like,
I
especially like you said, as a
Yeah,
first time mom, you're not so keen on what to do. And that might be a situation like, yes, you would think common sense, people would be like, okay, the car seat can't be turned until a certain age. But then at the same time, they're first time parents. What if they think, oh, he's almost at that weight that they can turn it around?
so, a lot of people do things off of age, which in reality, you're supposed to do it off of height and weight and age. It all has to be taken into account. So, with
Okay.
car seats at least. So that's the trouble is that people just like they're 2 years old, they can turn around, and I'm just like, "Well, my kid's real tiny, so I'm gonna keep my kid facing the other way just because you do whatever you wanna do, that's on you. No
Yeah.
judgment. I'm not gonna broadcast my judgment at least.
So
It's
it's funny, speaking of judgment, have you ever judged a parent on doing something that you now see differently having 3 kids?
I have less judgment. There are like, the tablets and everything, I know that it is helpful here and there, but I don't like to take advantage of it. Everyone does what everyone wants to do. You want to have a tablet or iPad with your child. I don't personally want to use it I don't like it constantly. Like if that kid is in the car freaking out for like you're on a long drive for
Yeah,
hours.
you're going states, you're like, "Please."
Just every once in a while we'll do something if it's like make or break kind of thing, pick your
Mm.
battles. But like every single like all the time I can't do
Well, I
that.
think even us as kids growing up, like, we didn't have the accessibility that they have, but we still had our GameCubes or our DS
I had
or,
I
you
had
know,
Game Boys, I
the
had the
little
DVD
yeah,
players.
the little TV that was already in the car that they
Yeah.
would
I mean,
yeah,
there's
we
things
had
we
those
had, we just
things.
didn't have it to the accessibility that
Yeah,
we
that
have
kids
today.
nowadays do.
Yeah.
No, I 100% agree with that. What's the most outrageous, weirdest, unsolicited advice that you've received or heard somebody give someone?
I've received a lot of crazy stuff. I have received a lot of advice about my kid's skin, and that's the hardest one is because you know what you're doing as a parent, but you're not always broadcasting it to everybody else.
Yeah, and can you go more in depth of why that skin issue was a thing that people were giving you advice on?
I mean, both my boys had really well, my first one, especially my oldest boy, when he was baby, he had severe cradle cap and eczema. Bad genes, man, bad genes. Really got
I
us.
have awful skin too, so
So my oldest looked like a burn victim sometimes.
Oh.
I mean, you remember he
Yeah.
looked pretty bad,
Yeah.
but it was really hard because people were always telling me what they did, or they were telling me, "Oh, have you tried this?" And I'm like, I can give you a whole list of things that
That
I've
I've
done,
tried.
and I've also, I've gone to the dermatologist. Yeah, I've done that. I've done gone to the doctors, dermatologist, and age. Age which is a huge factor. You can't use certain things till you get to a certain age,
Yeah.
and you don't realize how much that will affect the child. And I'm like getting stuff from like older people telling me,
Put
"Oh, well,
some
I did it."
Vaseline on it or what is it? Eucerin or
So Eucerin helped for certain things. Eucerin worked for my older son sometimes, and for my younger son, Vaseline worked sometimes. but their skins are so sensitive, and not for every kid, but their skin is so sensitive when they're little that some things work, some things don't work.
And I think that's another thing that I was really interested in when we were going through our cosmetology schooling was just the skin care and the diseases
The
and
layers of
the
the
lesions
skin,
and the
yeah, what you
layers
can
and
yeah,
what you should and the process of what you should be putting on, when you should be putting on, having a
right.
nighttime regimen and a morning time regimen. Like that
Yeah,
skin just fascinates me.
yeah.
And I thought that was really cool part of our schooling, obtaining our cosmetology
That's
degree.
why when I hear certain things, having that knowledge, I was like, no offense, but I've done a lot of research on skin
Yeah.
for what I had to
You're
do.
like, "At this point, shut up and sit down."
It's like telling an esthetician, right,
Yeah, how to
how
do
to
their
do their
job.
job, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, well,
Yeah, yeah. No, I completely agree.
like, he's not your kid. You don't go through the daily battles that I have to go through. You don't go to all the doctor's appointments and, "Are you using this one? I feel like you're not using this one enough," or, "Maybe you should use this one instead," or, "Have you given 10 baths a day?" or
10 baths a day, my
I've heard
goodness.
well, not 10, that's exaggerated, but I've heard so many
Stretching the truth
things.
a little bit.
But I've heard so many things. I know what my kid is getting done and he can handle.
Yeah. Do most of those cri criticisms, I guess, because that's a big
It feels like a
yeah, I
criticism.
mean, at the end of the
It's
day
judgment and
yeah,
criticism, you feel it.
um, have people without kids given you advice or criticism, or is it
I f
typically the parents that
I
have
feel like
kids?
well, it depends. People that don't have kids don't have as much criticism on certain topics. Like, if you're out at a restaurant, they have more criticism, I feel like.
Because 'Cause you're like, "Oh my god,
That kid won't stop.
stop
Or, like,
yelling."
planes and stuff
Mhm.
or restaurants, stuff like that, they're like, "I can't believe this. I can't believe they're acting like this. I can't believe they're letting them get away with this."
Mhm.
Those are the times I feel like you get more criticism, but
Or when they this is, like, my whole when they try new food. So, I've always been a one bite, no thank you, and there's times that I've seen out in public that kids will try something and then they start to, like, cry because they don't like it, but at the same time, it's like, I want to open my child up to different tastes and foods and textures
oh,
and,
yeah, I've
you
experienced that
know?
all the time with my kids, actually. My kids are some of the they used to eat everything, now they're, like, the pickiest eaters I've ever met. And I'm just like, "If you don't like it, I'm not gonna force it on you. We'll find something else, but if you just try it first, and then we can move on from it."
Exactly.
I mean, I went through the same thing with pork chops and mushrooms. I hate that. I hate them.
Still to the day?
Can't talk that tofu. Mm-mm.
Oh, tofu has a weird texture.
Cody loves it,
I
but
used to not like mushrooms as a kid, and now as an adult, I'm like, "Okay, like, we can make some chicken marsala, whip it up with some
see,
mushrooms,"
I'll
or
eat it if, like, we go to a restaurant or someone makes it. I'll eat it. I'll eat around it. I'll eat around the
yeah,
mush. I'll,
you
like,
kinda
push it off
push
to
it
the
out
side.
away. Yeah, I don't want that.
I
That's
do.
okay.
I do
That's
that.
okay. Do you think there's a difference between social media advice online versus advice from your family in person?
I feel like it's a different kind of advice. I don't see as much of, like, the advice that probably content creators get. I see it on theirs, like, in their comment section,
Mhm.
and I mean, um, some of them I see it more helpful advice be like, "Hey, that's not a great idea." I see those things for content creators and social media, just putting their stuff out there, but then family members, I feel like you feel it more as judgment.
Because you have that closer connection to
Because
them.
you know because they have a little bit more knowledge of what's going on,
And who you are and how your kids
and
are
it's like,
and
"Come on, really?
yeah,
Do you
the
really have to ask
biology
that?"
behind the
Yeah. It's
actions.
like, "Do you really have to ask that? Come
Yeah.
on. You think I'm not trying to do this?"
Yeah. No, that's interesting. Do you think if I came to you and I said something either to you in like privately or in public,
Yeah.
you would feel some type of way because I don't have kids or because we are friends, you would take it more openly?
It depends on the subject. It depends on what you're saying because if it's, like, certain things, like, if you like, I don't really enjoy when people yell at my kids. If you
Mhm.
do, I will correct you because 'cause I'm their parent.
Mhm.
And I'll be like, we don't talk to them that way.
Yeah.
We handle it a little differently because we know that our kids, we know what they can handle and
Yeah.
how they."
do
internalize
things,
it.
yeah. And all they're all different too.
Right. They're all different.
Seriously. Like, there's times where I've, like, been funny, but I've been funny loud, and it startled the,
Yeah.
like, littler one, and I'm like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that, like, just come, it's fine. We're good, okay, we're good."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is interesting to see how different kids react to different, disciplinary actions that you
Yeah,
take.
it is.
That is interesting.
Okay.
So, do you think there are generational differences in how your grandparents parented your parents, and your parents parented you, and now you're parenting your children?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think the biggest difference in the generational parenting skills were or are, I guess?
Um,
Because it's still going to continue
hopefully
to
I
happen.
answer this correctly.
There's no correct way. This
No,
is
it's just
a
how
raw
I'm like
version.
taking it in. I feel like some, at least with the ones I've experienced, they don't like to with much older, like born in like the 40s and the 50s and the 60s parents. They view themselves as right.
Is that the boomers or the
B-
baby boomers? Yeah, the baby boomers.
boomers, a little bit before boomers, and then after. So like my grandfather, but I've had around those time frames.
Okay.
So it's like what, the silent generation?
I don't know. That's
Silent
something interesting to look up.
generation, the boomers, which is what my grandfather is. And then I think my husband's mother would be in the boomers too, I think.
Okay. I think my grandmother is a boomer, and I can 100%
Well,
relate
he's
to
in the
you.
50s. He's the 50s.
Yeah.
So that would be boomers.
How old would they be right now?
So he is
70 some?
70 something.
Okay. So, I can relate to you with the whole "they're right, it's their way or the highway," because
Yeah.
my grandmother, oh my god, she there was no telling her no.
Right. Right. I agree.
Do you think that creates, what's the word? Like, uh, when they rebel, do you think that creates rebellion the
I
next
feel like it
generation?
does create rebellion. I feel like with every generation, it's a different way of they teach their family another type of you adapt in a certain type of way with that parenting style. And like my mom is a little bit more she's assertive, but she's also she cares about feelings and then but it's still a little bit more y- with that generation they are right
Mhm.
more than they are wrong,
Mhm.
but it's more of a generational thing, I feel like still. It's not the person itself, it is that generational thing of, like, there's right and then there's wrong, and that's just the way it is.
Okay, so then going
It's
down to that's your grandparents' generation.
right.
Then going down to your mom's generation, you would say that she still has the "I'm right" attitude, but with more feelings, like, "Oh, I'm sorry
Sh
if it hurts you that."
I feel like my mother has softened a lot more as time goes on with it because I feel like
As you
before
guys have gotten older,
as we've
or
gotten older and have kids,
okay.
and she has looked back on things and taken things in and looked at things a little differently. Maybe I shouldn't have done it this way. Maybe I should have done it this way, but obviously we're already grown now.
Yeah.
So
And then going into your generation, how do you think you've changed the way that you're parenting your kids?
I have to look at a lot of different things because I feel like not everybody from my specific generation does it right. I feel like a lot of people are straddling so many different ways, like, they're straddling the softness, they're trying to be sensitive, they're babying too much, or some of them just don't care, and that's the challenge, you're dealing with so many different because you grew up I didn't grow up this way, but a lot of other people did where you had to take fend for yourself.
So for you though, how you grew up, how would you say that the way you grew up is shaping the way that you're teaching your kids?
Yes, it is shaping.
How?
It's shaping the way because I'm learning from their mistakes and what they did right and what they did wrong.
Okay.
I see things as I want to be a little softer, but then I also am like, I did appreciate the strictness that I was given because it
Mhm.
showed me my mom was a healthier person, so it made me want to be healthier with my kids
Yeah.
and
I mean, we were
I'm
just
super crazy about cavities and taking care of your teeth now because of like, my family how they are.
Well, we were just talking about, like, the difference in healthy snacks, like,
Yeah.
I had Ho-Hos, I was allowed to have what did you call them?
The Ho-Hos or the
Yeah, the
Cosmic
Ho-Hos.
Brownies?
No, we don't need any cosmic brownies, the Ho-Hos, what are they called? The Swiss rolls.
Yes,
Like,
the Swiss
I
rolls.
loved the Swiss rolls, they were my favorite, but
I
then
didn't
you
ha
didn't have
I
them.
didn't have a Slim Jim or, I didn't have Swiss rolls, I didn't have a Twinkie, which aren't that great.
Yeah, I don't like
I
Twinkies.
didn't have any junk food until I was an adult,
Oh
until I
my
met
god.
my husband,
Oh god, he
and
did it to you.
well, his mom was a sweet tooth. We're always had more sweets around. He had always had this, so he was always bringing it in, didn't think anything of it, candy, everything. I'm just like, "What the heck is all this?"
Yeah.
It's like an overload for me because 'cause I'm like, "Oh god, I feel like I'm
Seriously,
gonna
you're
get
like,
it
"I'm
my
not
teeth are
used
gonna
to
fall
this.
out."
Where are my carrots and peanut butter? I need them now." Where are the celery? Make the
Yeah,
little log boats from the
right.
celery.
No, it
Yeah,
was
that
it was like a cultural shock for
yeah.
me.
I bet, and I see the way that some of my family feeds their kids, and it's all red 40, the dot, like
Oh,
blue,
yeah.
yellow, red, and I'm like, and you're wondering why he's autistic or he's bouncing off the walls or like they're not able to focus on what they're doing is because you're not feeding them whole foods, and it's very important to feed your
Yeah.
kids a whole foods. It might not be every meal because especially in today's society, we're so go, 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 go. In all reality, there's not time every single day of 3 meals a day to give them something that's not preserved. Like, that's just not
Well,
reality in
you're so every
2026.
right now compared to our parents' generation and the generation before, there's so much more put into the products now compared to what there was 50 years ago, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago. It's all changed.
Yeah. So, what advice would you say that someone's given you that's actually helped and you follow still to this day?
Care about your teeth is really something that's stuck with me. Another one is something also helpful with my mother. Take everything with a grain of salt because not everyone is going to be right about it.
Or even with your kids, take everything with a grain of salt. Because I can remember a time like that. It's crazy that this is jogging this memory, but I can remember a time I was at a party with I was with my mom, and it was one of her friends' parties, and she really made me mad.
Yeah,
And I said out loud, I was like, "I hate you." Like,
right.
and I never told my mom I hated her. And I still to this day remember how disappointed and upset that made her feel that I said that, but then as an adult now, like, if she woulda just taken it with a grain of salt and just, like, she's a child, no, certain things like that, even with the advice that people give you from the outside, but also from the things that the kids give you, because their words can be very sharp as children.
Yeah, that's also another thing that I get from my sister is I listen to a lot of things that she goes through. I don't agree with everything from either side of my mom or my sister, but like I do feel like she is very helpful when it comes to things because she's like, "Hey, you don't have to listen to everything." She's like, "We had our childhood. We saw what worked and what didn't. We don't like screaming. We don't
Mhm.
like it when you're being too aggressive. I don't like shouting,
Yeah.
but you know,
We all raise our voices a little bit every now and again.
when you're used to a certain thing, you want to either you go into it or you want to escape it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it's the fight or flight.
Yeah.
Fight or flight is ingrained in us at such a young age, and that's exactly what's happening. It's like the screaming makes me wanna retreat and have that anxious attachment style, and you don't
Right.
want your kids to have an anxious attachment style and hold everything in, so
Yeah.
then you want them to be open and, you don't want them to be an avoidant attachment style, I meant to say, instead of anxious, because anxious would be the
Yeah.
opposite, but yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that's interesting.
Yeah, it is. How do you think single friends view parenting and advice from the outside?
I think sometimes it's hard as a single person to feel comfortable giving advice to people with children because we are single and we have no kids.
Mhm.
Um, I think that comes with experience though and the type of relationship like you were saying earlier. It depends on how often you're getting that advice or who it's coming from. And I think when you have a closer relationship like we do, and I could be like, you'd be like, okay, don't do that, or it's fine. Just go to bed and you'll be fine. And if it was somebody random, it's like well, why are you telling like, why are you being so just dry and blunt with my kids
Yeah.
versus somebody like me and our relationship. I feel like I can be like, yeah, like you're good. Just go to bed. You're fine. Whereas it's like if it was somebody that I just met and their kid was running around the house, like I don't think I would necessarily feel comfortable being like, "Hey, you need to go to bed. Your mom said go to bed."
Yeah, that's how my mom's friends were with us too.
It's
Well,
interesting. It's not the easiest to feel
no,
comfortable
it is
giving
weird. I mean,
advice
it's weird
to
for me with
parents.
other people with my friends' kids. It is a weird thought. It is a weird little like barrier that you have to stay in the safety zone.
You do. It's I not walking on thin ice, but, like, I feel like you're always high alert because you don't wanna say
Yeah.
anything wrong, but then you're like, "Okay, come on now. Like, get your shit together." You know? Like
No, yeah,
and
it's a real thing.
and I feel like sometimes it comes from a place of, like, the single friend wanting to help you out, because
Yeah.
I mean, I've been so prominent, especially today. It was 80 degrees. I'm like, "You need to get your butt outside, and we're going to the park," and she was trying to find every excuse not to go.
To be fair, there were
Every
logical
excuse "It's gonna
excuses.
rain.
It
The sky's
was.
gray."
It
Yeah,
was
but
gonna
we had a good
rain.
hour before the rain, and the park was right
That's
up the street.
I went there, didn't I?
She did. I had to grab her by her ear and drag her, but she came. She came. No, but just, like, things like that. Like, "Okay, boys, put your shoes on, get in the car, buckle up." Like, whereas, a random stranger, you wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable them telling.
Yeah,
Say
especially it can be a very sensitive world we live in, where you have to be like, "Oh, can't say certain things." I hope I
everything
didn't just
has to
become
be
offensive.
politically correct.
It does, for real.
Yep. Um What is some advice that somebody's given you that's helped you?
It's helped me
Yeah. Not necessarily that you continue to do currently, but what's helped you.
be so strict with time. Pick and choose your battles. You don't have to listen to every piece of advice that's given to you. Not every advice is good. Just
I like the time one. I really do like the don't be so strict with your time because
don't be such a hover also, but yeah, the time thing too.
yeah, and I think that's important because even as an adult, again, we're so go, go, go that
Yeah.
at times we need to just sit back and be like, listen, if I'm 5 minutes past my hour lunch break, then I'm 5 minutes past my hour lunch break. My work's still going to be there. I'm still going to have a
Yeah.
job. I'm still going to have tasks to do. If the guy in front of you on your way home is going 5 miles under the speed limit, you
Right.
don't instantly go to hurry, hurry, hurry. I'm trying to get home. I haven't been home all
Right.
day.
Right.
Maybe that's a sign from, the universe and whoever you believe in to just slow down and take a second. And I think that's really important to teach your kids that, like, yes, it's good to have a schedule. I mean, personally, I work great in schedules, and my mom was very strict with schedules. And if I was 1 minute past curfew, I'd get in trouble. And,
Mhm.
that was something that was just always ingrained in me. And as an adult now, I really appreciate schedules, but having too much of a schedule can be,
Can make you strict as well.
yeah, and you don't
You need
want
to
that.
sometimes you just need to
Chill out.
relax. Yeah.
Just
It's gonna
relax
be
and chill out.
fine.
Yes. The park that is still gonna be there. That giraffe at the zoo, he's still gonna be there.
Yeah, my husband was a big part of that. It's like, "It's fine. It's gonna be fine. Like, you don't need to hover so much. You
Yeah.
don't need to do this so much. We're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
It's
Or
gonna
like
get we're gonna get there."
or parties, like, you're like, "The party started at 3, you don't need to come at 2:59. The party's still gonna be there at 4:05." You
Right,
know?
right, right.
That's
For people giving parenting advice, what is something that's stuck with you that makes you laugh or criticizing? What's your thoughts on that?
okay. I think my favorite would probably be, like, when they're teething, you're
Yes.
like, "Just rub some whiskey on it. They'll be fine. Just rub some whiskey on it."
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's so absurd that people care about women breastfeeding in public. Like,
Okay.
they're like, "Oh my god, your boob's gonna be shown and you're in the middle of the food court." Like, who gives a damn? I am feeding my child.
Right.
I think those are probably my top favorite ones. How about you? Have you heard some wild ones yourself?
I've heard those ones. Those ones are wild to me because the times have changed so much since they even had kids. And another one is, which I understand that there's a lot of controversy over it, the co-sleeping one is a interesting one to me, and the what is it, rice cereal in the
Yes, in the
milk.
bottle. Something what does the rice in the bottle do? I've
That's
heard that too.
something that our parents did before us. I know people still do
They
it.
also put asbestos on the wall, and they said it was fine, so
Eating the little, paint flakes.
it's coming down like
Is there
dandruff.
lead in that? Let's get lead tests.
Or they're like, "Let's hang off a skyscraper without any, harness."
Right. I
Yeah,
mean,
and they're
like,
trying to give us advice.
listen, I mean, I use whenever I hear things like that, I always say, well, healthcare is always improving, is always changing. So
You're
should
like,
we.
OSHA wouldn't like that nowadays.
Yeah, that's how I feel in the parenting world. I'd be like, oh, sure wouldn't like that now. Like, let's not do that anymore. It's not a good idea. And
Yeah.
that goes along with people on social media broadcasting this stuff. It's like, just because you did it 1,000 years ago.
1,000.
Just kidding. Just because you did that when you were a parent does not mean that's still safe, legal.
Well, I mean, they used to take the babies home without a car seat from the hospital. They just sit them
I've heard
in
that
their
one
lap,
too.
like, "All right, baby, here we go."
I know people that have done that too, and I'm just like,
See, but
like used to, but then they still have that mentality. They're like, oh yeah, that's fine still.
also, I think genuinely, if I'm being honest, I think things are different. I think because we have our population is huge. We have so much traffic everywhere in every city. You have nonstop traffic. You're more susceptible to getting into an accident. I think that's why it's so important
Yes.
to have car seats and to strap your babies up and do that kind of things. But like 400 years ago, I'm probably like riding with my baby in my lap on my rock wheels, just putting
Yeah, and
along.
also the people weren't surviving past like 30 most of the time
Well, they
too,
were
and
getting
giving.
diseases like malaria and
Yeah, and making
swine
and
and the
people.
plague.
The Amish literally, what was it?
What
A
is it?
couple years ago, they all. You see how they have their.
Yeah, they're buggies. They're horse and
And
buggies.
you know how many accidents we hear about?
None?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah.
They crash a lot?
There was a whole busload. I don't know how it really goes, but like, because they were in a horse and buggy. But yeah, they get in accidents. There was
Do
a whole bunch.
they?
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of.
That's
There was an
sad.
accident I think it was a couple of years ago. A bunch of kids. I think kids died.
Oh my god. I
Yeah,
didn't
or
know that.
people. I don't know. I don't know the ages. Don't quote me on any of
But
this.
that's like also why, because I am
It's all
somebody
speculation.
I'm all it's all speculation. It's not
I don't.
true. None
No,
of this
no,
is
no,
true.
no. It's all true. That's true. I just don't know the exact details.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. And I
But
think that's the importance of evolving with technology
evolving.
because I don't like change. I don't like the new tech world, but at the end of the day, there's a reason we've evolved from horse and buggies.
That's why I always go back to saying, like, the medicine's always evolving, we need to evolve
Ugh,
too.
I'm so bad with that. I don't like to even take ibuprofen.
No, but not
Like they're
literally
like, you
it's
should take
not
your meds. I'm like, I'm not gonna take any type of meds. I
but
don't even take Excedrin.
it's not my saying doesn't just go with medicine. It's really just like healthcare is evolving. Everything else is evolving around you. There's a reason why there's so many like cars. The warranties, the safety checks, they're always changing. Car seat safety checks. Car seats expire. Did you know that?
Yeah, diapers expire. Everything has an expiration date on it,
And
honey.
it's probably a reason. It's probably a reason.
Diapers expire for a reason.
Well, diapers, yeah, they do actually
Do they
expire.
really?
Yeah, just like water bottles because the
Do they
plastic.
get like bally, like the
Do you
gels?
want me to save you one?
I mean, yeah, let's test the theory. You know how they do the McDonald's burger and then it never
Yeah,
rots, it
there's
never gets moldy? Yeah, we should test a diaper.
because of the material it's made of decomposes.
I didn't know that. I
So
really
there's
didn't know
something
that.
about it. I know, and it's like milk with expiration date, but it's like the best way I can explain it is like there's a expiration date on the plastic water bottles.
Yeah,
It
I
is
didn't know
literally the
that.
plastic.
Would you do cloth diapers ever?
No.
No? See, I'm not like I'm
If I had
kind
one baby, maybe.
maybe okay, because
If I
I'm
had
kind of
one, my
interested.
sister did it.
How'd it work? Did it save her money?
She did it with first baby, I believe. She has 3. I don't know if the second one had cloth diapers. Don't quote me on any of this because I know that my oldest nephew had cloth
There has to be
diapers.
a way. You know how
It's a lot. Especially it also depends if you're stay-at-home or if you're a working mom,
I feel like if you're a working mom, that would never work.
and I remember watching my sister you have to have a utility sink, you spray all the diaper stuff out.
So it's a big pain.
It is a
You don't have your
it
washboard,
depends
like,
on how
scrubbing the
much
diaper.
available time you have
Yeah.
and how much you're willing to sacrifice to go into it,
Yeah.
and I just had a lot
Sometimes, and that's where
I don't got the patience.
the convenience aspect comes of
Just look for healthy
disposable
diapers,
diapers.
and you look for healthy diapers if you don't wanna do it.
Do they have healthy diapers?
I say healthy, yeah, I call it healthy diapers. Yeah, they have, you have to look up all the
Like,
different diapers.
non-plastics,
Uh,
non-GMO,
it's
non
stuff with a lot of chemicals. They
okay.
have stuff with the better like, there's Honest diapers, I
Like
know.
cotton diapers,
I don't know all
okay,
of them.
polyester and
And
silk and satin. Imagine a satin.
I go off of least amount of chemicals, and my kids have a lot of blowouts, so I go off the least amount of blowouts I can get with a diaper.
They gotta be high enough to cover the booty.
Honestly, I don't even care. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly.
Why do you think people feel the need to give parenting advice at all in the first place?
It's a good question. I'd like to know that answer myself.
I stumped you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I do it personally if I feel something is unsafe or if someone is really struggling with it, then then I will take in like some feedback I get if I'm asking you. But that goes along with unsolicited and
Yeah, you're
solicited.
like, "Did I ask or did I not ask? Stay in your
But
lane
or
or come in mine."
if you say it one time and that's it, then I'll be like, "Okay, that's thanks for telling me." But then you tell me a million times, and that is one thing that always bugs me. I'm like, "This is the 10th time you told me.
I
Did you
hear you.
I heard you, and I'm literally going against what you're saying here, and and
And
it
I'm
doesn't
not gonna
work."
do it that way.
Well, yeah, I'm like, I
Yeah.
know, and some people don't, and
If
I'm
they're
just
not picking
like
up what you're putting down.
right, I'm just like, "Okay, that's enough. Thanks for telling me. You told me the 10th time now. We can drop it now."
That's funny. How do you politely shut down advice that you didn't ask for?
Goodness. I'm not always very polite.
Okay.
I
She admitted it here, guys. Here first.
mean, my family can agree with that one. I try to be as nice as I can sometimes. If it's my family, I'll be a little rougher because 'cause I'm like,
You're
"Alright."
more comfortable with your family.
If it's somebody I'm like, that's that I'll be like, "Oh, okay. Thanks for telling me,"
Uh-huh.
and then just kinda end it there.
What if they, like, keep asking you? And I could say this in I've had times where people push religion, okay? And you know what I mean by that? Like, they're just, "Hey, you need God." And I'm like, "I know, I have God. He's with me all the time. You know, you really need to go to church." And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
how in that sense, when people give you parenting advice, you shut that down when they're like, "No, but really, like, you left that gate open, that gate needs to be closed at all times." Like, or you open it up and then they go to shut it. Like, is there so many times before you snap and you're just
Yeah.
like, "Sit down, stop touching my gate. I'm leaving it open. That's how it's gonna be."
It depends if it's a real safety issue, then I will take it in. But if it is something that it has been told a whole bunch of times and I'm just really getting sick of hearing it now,
Mhm.
I'll be like, I heard you. It didn't work for you. It's not going to work for me. Or I know it's not going to work for my kid. So could you stop telling me?
Yeah, and you're just blunt about it. You just come out and you
Sometimes.
tell them.
Or I'll go to my husband and like, if they tell me one more freaking time, I need you to tell me the right way to do this
Smoke
because
might start coming out of my
S
ears.
so I can be more abrasive, and I know I can be more abrasive, and so I've been told I'm more abrasive with things. I have to go to my husband, and I have to be like, "I need the right way to say this because if they say it to me like, I know it's gonna happen, it's just a matter of when
When
it's
it's gonna happen, when you're gonna snap.
with
Yeah,
that certain person." I'll be like, "What do I do if I hear it one more freaking time? I'm gonna lose it.
yeah.
I need the right way to say it."
What's a parenting decision that you've made and people judge you for, but you still stand 10 toes down in making that decision for your kids?
Uh You can be careful with your wording, but then if you say things and they were too abrasive or too aggressive with them as a parent, after I do it, I'll go back and I'll be like, "Hey, babe, I'm really sorry."
And you apologize. I think that's
I wasn't
something.
apologized to enough, and I
Yeah,
feel like my husband
yep.
wasn't apologized, and
I
it's
wasn't
something we committed
apologized
to.
ever.
It's something I've talked about with all my siblings. Like, That's something that we're very big on, like, I want our kids to know that we are going to feel bad about what we're doing, and they can in turn be like, "Okay, I am sorry. I'm
And
sorry I was so mean."
and it shows that adults too make mistakes,
Yeah,
and
and they
it shows
do.
them responsibility
Right,
for making a mistake.
right.
You know, you learn from what you see, like we were
Yes.
talking about earlier. Well, I think that's a wonderful spot to end
Yeah.
today's podcast on. I really enjoyed this topic, and
Yeah, it was good.
I think it's a topic that a lot of people don't talk about because
Yeah,
there can be that limbo between a single friend giving advice to a
and it's
friend
good
with
to see your
kids.
perspective of it. It's interesting to see yours is not knowing where to like, when you're crossing the line and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
no,
interesting.
very interesting. So to end this, I think just really stay in your lane. If somebody asks you for advice, whether that's parenting advice or life advice in itself, then
Yes.
that's a good time to give that advice.
And
Um,
also take a moment sometimes as a parent, if someone is really trying to be cautious about something, if they're trying to really talk to you about the safety of your child, the well being of your child, if you know it, then that's fine. If it's not something that'll will work, then that's fine. But if someone's really just trying to help you out with your child's safety, maybe
how to buckle the car
it
seat properly.
or just yeah, just try and listen. And if it's maybe do some of your own research. But if it's not going to work, it's not going to work. But like something, not everything is a criticism.
Yeah.
Some things are a criticism, but not everything is.
Yeah, and it's not all coming from a place of judgment, whether that's your family or not, because we said you can be a little more aggressive with family because you're more comfortable,
Yes.
but to just be open to advice, but not overly critical giving advice.
Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening to episode 4 of Between Appointments. This is Caitlin.
This is Noelle.